Hey, what's up, everybody? And welcome to another morning of coffee and conversation with Whisky Blu and friends. How are you doing this morning,
Fantastic.
Veronica?
Fantastic.
All right. I'm loving these words you're coming up with every morning.
Oh, I
Yesterday,
forgot.
perfect.
I said I wasn't going to laugh.
Morning. Huh?
I forgot I said I wasn't going to laugh. But you
It's
brought it
all
out
right
of me.
to laugh.
You brought
It's
it out of
good
me.
to let people see you laughing early in the morning. Yesterday it was perfect, and today is fantastic. I love it. I love it. You know, good morning to you. Grand Rising. All of that great stuff to
Yeah.
everybody that's out there. And shout out to my sister, Dr. D, who's not on the camera with us today, but she's in the studio with us. So I'm not going to bring her live. She's just here in support today. And so I'm not going to bring her on the screen. But I want to tell you all, it is good to be alive. I am in the process of starting, Veronica, another chapter of my life. And I want to talk today about some stuff. Anything on your mind today, Veronica? Before
I
I
have
just start talking like I always do, just let me
I have I have a lot of stuff on my mind. But
know.
if I don't talk, I'll be forgetting what it is.
What? Veronica, don't make me choke this
I ain't
morning.
gonna make it choke.
You say you have a lot of stuff on your mind. When you start talking, you forget what it is. Huh?
I'll forget what it is.
Wow. Well, one of the things I started thinking about today, because for those of you that don't know, that may be tuning or they're tuning in a little later, um, I had been driving for Uber, and I made a decision that it was time to return the rental car, because when I first got the car, I mean, it cost me $433 a week to rent the car. And while I'm working on rebuilding my credit score, and but just the car and the gas, I was just breaking even, you know. So then I decided yesterday to take the car back. So I had to drive up to Chicago, which is about a 2 hour, 15 minute, 2.5 hour drive up to Chicago. Now, one of the things that I did yesterday, Veronica, is because I've moved into my own apartment now, which I'm grateful for. After going through a period of homelessness from 2024, and some people know the story or have an idea, others don't. But it was back in 2023 that me and my siblings got a call my from someone that we needed to check. Someone needed to check on my oldest brother, Leroy. And Leroy and we had the same mother, but he was the child of my mother from her first marriage. So we went down to check on Leroy. I did, right? Because the other siblings did not seem to really have time or influence. So I went to go check on him. When I got to him back in September, about September of 2023, or the latter part of August. Um, when I got there to him, I took the train from Baltimore to Sumter, South Carolina. And when I got there, my oldest brother wanted me to stay with him. So I stayed with him from September until March. And when March came in 2024, I drove up to Baltimore. And when I got to Baltimore, I cleaned out my apartment. I only stayed for like a day or two. It was only a day or two trip. And I cleaned out my apartment. I turned over my keys. I gave really everything away that was in the apartment. I turned over my keys and I totally moved with my brother. However, in June of 2024, Veronica, my brother passed. And so I'm in a situation at that period of time where I'm living in his house, but I gave up my apartment in Baltimore. And now I'm living in his house with him. I was his caregiver for pretty much those 9 months, but he passes away. And he was purchasing his house, and he was in the process of buying his house, but I wasn't on the deed or anything like that. One of my brother's siblings, I call him a sibling rather than a brother, he moved into my brother's house. He actually came from, how you doing, Apostle? Um, my brother actually, Apostle, you're welcome to come on with us anytime you want to. Sir. The link is on my page for the studio if you ever want to come in and just share some words. But as I was saying, what ends up happening is Modest is taking my supplies together. So I'm gonna give him a moment to get finished because he's making all this noise behind. All right. So anyhow, I stay with my brother. My brother passes away, and the sibling that's right over me, you know, he moved into my brother's house. But one of the things that he never came to see my brother the entire time that I was there. And the reality is that he moves in with his girlfriend. He had a place in Myrtle Beach, but he moves in to my brother's house. He doesn't even come to the funeral. He comes the day of my brother's funeral, but doesn't even come to the service. But before the month is out, he has moved in to the house with his girlfriend. And my niece moves into the house with her girlfriend and two of her children. And so now, for 9 months, you have people that would not come to check on my brother, but as soon as he passes, they come in. Now, people thought I was going crazy. But when you have all of this toxic energy come into a place that you've been, you know what I'm saying? Yet they were unwilling to be there for a person and support them in their life. It was a really crazy situation. And I needed to leave. And so I left my brother's house, although I didn't have no place to go. I left, went on the road, and I was staying in a hotel and everything. And I won't get into the whole story. I'll write a book about this at some point in time. I didn't even spend time writing a book about it, but I will tell it in a book at some point. But back in 2024, around August of 2024, I then became homeless because the car that I had broke down in Myrtle Beach. And when it broke down in Myrtle Beach, I was so stressed from the loss of my brother, from the toxicity of my family. You know, they wanted to accuse me of being bipolar, which I'm not. Um, However, I did have a manic episode, but my manic episode was induced by drug usage at a period of time. And it's so unique that if you go through an experience, people love to try to gaslight you when they're the cause of certain things. They want to say, oh, you do know he's bipolar. Not because I was bipolar, but because I had a manic episode, you know. And here's one of the things that happened during my experience. At one point, I ended up in the psychiatric ward at Johns Hopkins Hospital. Ronald. And would you believe my oldest sister said to me, I'm surprised you're not dead because I wanted to kill you myself. I was on the phone in Johns Hopkins Psychiatric Ward, and to have a sibling talk that way to you. So a lot of people don't really know the story, you know, because they saw me at a period of time where I was going through an experience, but they don't realize. If you really know me, then you know that wasn't me and something was going on, and you would think you would reach out, you know, but people were not there for me. But I went through homelessness. I ended up living in a shelter in Myrtle Beach. And then from Myrtle Beach, I ended up moving to Kankakee with a buddy of mine who is now deceased. But that didn't work out because he was causing a toxic situation and he was going through stuff itself that you never really know what people are going through. They can camouflage it until you actually live with them. And so you really never know a person until you live with them. And that was the experience for me. Why did I start this show of talking about this? I started on talking about this because I took the car back yesterday. And for the first time, I'm going to have the opportunity to really decompress from everything that I went through since back in 2024, you know, or really starting 2023 because living with my brother wasn't necessarily the easiest situation, but I served as his caregiver and everything. And I never really had the opportunity to decompress. So I shared that to start off today to talk about decompression. Not to beat up on my siblings because they are who they are. You know what I'm saying? They do what they do. They didn't want to do probate. They didn't want me to be the one handling things. But from what little bit I experienced, I learned that there were things that were done concerning my mother and my father, you know what I'm saying, that I don't know what happened with pensions or with and all that stuff. Because my mother worked, my father worked. You know what I mean? My father had a pension. I believe my mother had a pension. I know my father had a life insurance policy. So it was only through me dealing with my brother, the little bit of time that I did, that I learned that there were things that were not taken care of or shared, you know what I'm saying, with the other siblings and stuff like that. And people did I had family members that did some undercut stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got to really, really know about family, about relatives, and how relatives can be when it comes to money and comes to stuff. You know, people are so caught up on material stuff until they will do anything, you know what I'm saying, when a person passes away. Uh, I'm sure people out there will even take unalive people for money and stuff like that because people are so. The Bible says something about the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not money that's a problem. It's the love of money.
Mm.
And so I shared all that today, Veronica, simply to talk about this word called decompression. To decompress. So when I say that I finally have or move into a new chapter in my life, now that I've returned the car to Hertz Uber partnership and not driving for Uber, today is my first day without the vehicle and not having to drive every week a minimum of trips to pay for the car, to pay for gas, going in the hole, and all that stuff. And so I'm focusing on this word today, decompress. What does it mean to decompress? To decompress means to release built up physical, mental, or emotional tension so your body and mind can return to a calmer, regulated state.
Mm.
That's what it means to decompress.
Yup.
To release built up physical. Sometimes we don't even realize that we have built up physical, mental, and emotional tension. But to decompress means to release built up physical, mental, or emotional tension so your body, your mind can return to a calmer, regulated state.
Mm.
It is what you do when life has you tight, overwhelmed, overstimulated, or carrying too much at once. That's what it means to decompress. Talk to me, Veronica.
Well, all you went through, and all you can do now is move forward because you got better stuff in store for you, bigger and better things.
Yes, yes. So somebody out there may be listening, and today just think about this word decompress. Are you by chance in a situation where you have built up physical, mental, or emotional tension? Do you need to compress, decompress? Excuse me. Do you need to decompress so that your body, so that your mind can return to a calmer, regulated state?
See,
Has your life become tight? Have you become overwhelmed, overstimulated, or carrying too much at once? Maybe you need to take some time to decompress. Do it for yourself. I consider it to be self care when you take the time to decompress. So that's just what I want to talk about today. I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling good. I'm looking forward to this time, you know, because I'm really a calmer person. I mean, I get excited if I sing or if I preach, but I just like calm. You know, I posted something, reposted something online this morning um, that someone else had shared, and so I reposted it, and it's on my repost this morning. But listen, I just want to be at a place of peace in my life right now. You know, I don't like a bunch of tension and stress. You know, and listen, there's good stress and there's bad stress. You
stress.
can be under too much stress or too little stress. If you have too little stress, you find yourself being bored. You know, if you have too much stress, and you find yourself tight and overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? You end up with this tension that we talked about where you need to decompress. But then there is a place that's called optimal stress. You know, and nothing wrong with optimal stress. But you don't want to be in a place where it's too little stress or too much stress in your life. I just want to live at a place of peace, you know, Veronica.
Yep.
Veronica, must have something for us today. You've been letting me talk. Um, Thank you very much for participating in this conversation. Um, Apostle Garland, I appreciate you, man. We're looking forward to having you on one morning, just sharing with us your own self. God is good. You see the comment on the page. Thank you very much, sir. Restoration. I like that. Yes, sir. I have been through a lot with all the attack of the enemy. Yes, I know God has work for me to do too, so. And I'm preparing for what He has for me. Veronica, you have our inspirational word for the day.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you ready?
yeah. I got a good one.
All right. So we're about to have our inspirational moment. Our inspirational moment with Veronica Nicholas this morning.
Every,
Veronica, it's on you.
every season of life teaches us something important. Hard times teach strength. Waiting teaches patience. Pain teaches wisdom. And blessing teaches gratitude. Life may not always be easy, but every challenge carries a lesson that helps you become stronger and wiser than before.
Every challenge, what?
Life may not always be easy, but every challenge carries a lesson that helps you become stronger and wiser than before.
Every challenge causes us to
Become stronger and wiser than before.
be stronger and wiser than before. That was perfect for this morning, Veronica.
That's why I told you I had a good one.
Yeah, you definitely have a good one, especially, and it's like right on point for what I was just sharing because every experience has a lesson, and
Yep.
it doesn't always feel good. But I had to learn some tough lessons in this past season of my life. But
And
I'm
I
grateful.
see it. I said, that's the one right there. What I just read. It's just,
Yeah, that was perfect.
yep.
Thank you very much, Veronica, and to everyone who joined us today. Dr. Divine, God bless you. Apostle, God bless you. Thank you all for joining us this morning for Coffee and Conversations with Whisky Blu and Friends. I appreciate you all. And we look forward to seeing you again on tomorrow. We wish you all a great day, that you have a great day today. We love you. We respect you. We decide to walk in peace and kindness and unity. And you all have a great day. And please do me a favor and like and share or follow and subscribe, whatever it is. And please come back and see us on tomorrow as we continue our conversation that we have and start our day off in a wonderful, positive way. Thank you all. God bless you all. Anything you want to say finally, Veronica?
Oh,
I'm always catching you off guard.
like you say, we got to walk with love, unity, peace.
Respect
Yeah, we got to have respect. We got to have that.
and kindness.
Yep, we got to have that.
Yep. You all have a great day. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning.